I've been single for almost 4 years now, and in that time, I've watched a lot of guys, including myself, make the same mistakes over and over again. Not because we're intentionally trying to be bad guys, but because nobody really prepares us for this. So in this video, I'm breaking down the 5 biggest mistakes I see single men make. Some of these I've made myself, some I'm still working on them. But if you can avoid them, you'll be way ahead of where I was. So with that being said, the first mistake is putting ladies on a pedestal. This is when you treat a lady like she's perfect, like she's above you, like you are lucky just to be in her presence. You are so focused on impressing her that you lose yourself in the process. And here's why that's a problem. The good ladies out there don't want to be on a pedestal. They want an equal partner. And when you put her up there, you are communicating that you don't see yourself as worthy. And if you, yes, I'm talking to you, don't see yourself as worthy, why should she? This looks like agreeing with everything she says, changing who you are to fit what you think she wants. You're not being authentic, you are performing. And she can sense it from the kind of aura you give off. So here's the fix. See her as human, flawed, just like you. She's not perfect. She has struggles, insecurities, bad days. When you see her as an equal, you show up as yourself. And that's actually attractive. But here's one most guys don't even think about. The second mistake is not knowing the difference between your you problems and we problems. Let me explain what I mean. There are 2 kinds of problems. You problems, things that are yours to deal with alone before you bring someone else into your life. For example, things like pornography addiction, unhealed wounds from your past, anger issues, spiritual immaturity. And we problems, things you and your partner can walk through together. For example, things like not being rich yet, not having everything figured out, learning how to communicate better. Most men don't know the difference, and I myself couldn't even tell them apart for a long time. And here's what happens. You think I'll deal with my stuff once I'm in a relationship, or even maybe when I get into the relationship, we'll figure it out. But if you don't deal with your you problems first, they become her problems as well. And that's not fair. Think about it. Everybody has their own problem, and you decided to carry your own problem and join into another person's problem. How? For example, a man who hasn't dealt with a pornography problem gets into a relationship. He genuinely likes this woman, but what he brought in is already working against them. He has unrealistic expectations. He finds it harder to be present with her. She, on the other hand, starts to feel like something is wrong with her. Then he feels disconnected and doesn't know why. And of course, the relationship suffers, not because of her, but because of what he never dealt with before getting into that relationship. Galatians 6 verse 5 says, "For each one should carry their own load." Your you problems are your load. Deal with them before you ask someone to work with you. So here's the fix. So when you feel like, yes, I'm ready for a relationship, ask yourself, do I still have any you problems? Things only you can fix. If yes, young man, you have work to do. If no, you can proceed with caution. This next one is what makes the first 2 worse. The third mistake is not knowing what you actually stand for. Most men have never sat down and seriously figured out their values and non-negotiables. So they accept whatever comes their way. Any woman that shows just the slightest interest in them seems like the one, because they have no filter. And here's the problem. If you don't know your values, you'll compromise on things you shouldn't. You'll stay with someone who doesn't share what's important to you just because she's there. And eventually, that misalignment breaks the relationship. Take this for example. You meet someone, she's attractive, she's fun to be around. About 3, 4, 6 months in, you are emotionally invested. And then you find out she has completely different views on faith. Or maybe she doesn't want kids. Or her idea of family looks nothing like yours. And now you're stuck, because living feels like you are losing something, even though there was no alignment in the first place. You just never filtered for it before you got attached. That's what happens when you have no non-negotiables. Proverbs 13 verse 20 says, "Walk with the wise and become wise." The people closest to you shape who you become, and that includes your future partner. So here's the fix. Write down your 3 to 5 non-negotiables, not preferences, non-negotiables. Things like faith, character, shared vision for family. Then actually filter for those things before getting emotionally invested, not after. Because the earlier you filter, the less it costs you when things don't align. Now, here's where most guys get exposed. The fourth mistake is having no sense of direction. You have no idea of where your life is going, what you are building, or what you are working toward. You are just existing, reacting, hoping things work out. And here's why that matters. In the Bible, before Adam was given a partner, he already had work, something he was doing, something he was building. The partner came alongside the work, not before it. So if you have nothing you are building toward, what exactly are you inviting her into? Take this example. Let's say a lady you're attracted to, you ask her for a date, and at some point during the date, she asks you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And you can't even answer that question. Or you say something like, I don't know, I'm just taking it one day at a time. That's not attractive. That's directionless. A man moving with no direction. A wife is not just a partner. She's an investor in your vision. Someone who sees where you are going and wants to come on that journey with you. But if you have no direction, what journey is she going to embark on with you? Proverbs 29 verse 18 says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Vision matters. So figure out yours before you ask someone to walk beside you. So here's the fix. You don't need everything figured out, but you need something. A purpose, a calling, a direction. So before you think of a relationship, start building towards something. Then you can invite her to join you in that. And now this last one is the one nobody wants to admit. The fifth and final mistake is wanting a partner but not wanting to be one. You want what you get from a relationship. Someone to talk to, someone to support you, someone to fill that gap. But being a partner means serving. And most young guys aren't ready for that. Here's the truth. A relationship is a call to serve, not a call to acquire. If you're only thinking about what she can do for you, my brother, you are not ready. Because when it gets hard, and it will, you'll probably quit. Let's say, for example, you want her to cook, clean, support your dreams, listen to all your problems. But you're not asking, how can I serve her? How can I help her fulfill her God-given purpose? That's one-sided. That's not partnership. Philippians 2 verse 3 to 4 says, do nothing out of selfish ambition. Value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of the others. That's the standard. So here's the fix. Shift your mindset from what can I get to what can I give? Ask yourself, am I becoming the kind of man who would attract a woman with a heart of a servant? Because if you are selfish, you'll probably attract your kind, which is a lady who is selfish as well. Or you lose the good ones, whichever. Anyways, now that you know the 5 mistakes to avoid, here's what you need to do next. Set boundaries for yourself. Because knowing the mistakes is one thing. Actually avoiding them requires boundaries. I break down the 5 boundaries every man needs in this video. Remember, the path is yours to walk. And as always, I'm in your corner, rooting for you.